Yeah.
Go.
Well, hi.
Okay, hello. So I went and got a couple of the props for my costume. I think it'll help with the storytelling part of it.
Okay.
So, while you were gone, I also uploaded a slew of pictures to your Discord.
Oh.
From some of the decorations that were outside at the Pennhurst Asylum. So, the Pennhurst Insane Asylum used to be a real asylum, from my understanding, and they used to have mental patients there who were really, really at the edge. Well, some sus and shady things were rumored to have happened there, and long story short, it became like this horror destination choice in the area, and they started building all of these haunts and attractions in this place. So it was really quite cool to see it in the flesh. So my wife had wanted to go see some haunts, and she's a big horror buff. I am not so much. I'm much like Z when it comes to horror. Not my preferred cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
But I can power through. So we go to this haunt, and I bought the pass so we could skip the line. And I did not. This is my first time going to a haunt. Like I said, I'm not big of a horror buff, so
Yeah.
I don't have a clue of what to expect. We get there, and because we're on the VIP, they skip us straight in, and it's like a roller coaster, but on steroids. The worst part is to be the first in line, right? So like you're front seat for all the majority of the scares.
Yeah.
So we're walking through, we walk in, so like they start you right off. We go right into this haunt, and I mean, the ambiance and setting is spooky. They've decorated this thing inside. Like these are pictures that I posted of their outside decorations that you could actually take pictures of. They wouldn't let us take pictures of anything on the inside because it spoils the haunt. If you share the experience and show people what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I guess retelling it isn't that bad. So we're going through this place, and the first one was like this underground tunnel, and then it turns into a cave, and you have all these cave creatures and ritualists doing prayers and holding candles, and then they have like some of these ritualists that are dummies, right?
Yeah.
Then one of them might not be a dummy, and you're thinking it's a dummy, and it scares the crap out of you. So I'm walking through there, and I'm dressed as a priest, and you probably see my picture if you pull it up, but I had this little cross on. I'm like this, holding my cross, walking through the thing.
Yeah.
And I'd pull up my sweater like this to cover my face a little bit, but they were scary.
Yeah.
Man, these decorations, these costumes they made were next level. Like, so once we pass through that, it goes from being a cave into being a dank, dark sewer. And like they have this like walking through like an underground sewer. It felt like you were actually in the sewer. It was crazy. And so this is just the first haunt, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, man, this haunt, like, we walked through that thing, I'll say probably 7 to 15 minutes of walking, just walking through all the scares that they had in that one. This is the first one. There are 4 haunts there.
Yeah.
So you go from one building to the next building to the next building. But once you come out of this one, it's a walk path that you follow to the next one. And that first one was, man, it was explosive. So all these people are allowed to touch you, by the way.
Oh,
you can't touch them, but they're allowed to touch you.
Yeah.
So all the jumpy, creepy, and all the other stuff, all of it. So people were complaining a while ago that, COVID restrictions had really driven the experience down. Well, now COVID restrictions are off. So it's full on, like, in your face, scaring you, engaging with you. Oh man, it's crazy. So that was the first haunt, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. The second haunt is like we're coming up to the main building, and while we're at the main building waiting in line, they have this ghoulish woman that's on your screen right now come out in this costume, and she's doing the fire dance.
The purple one?
No, the woman on your screen now doing the fire dance.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, twirling the fire.
Yeah,
Twirling
yeah.
the fire. Yeah, so we were standing in line and she was doing the fire show, and that kind of gave you something to engage with and watch while
Yeah.
you were standing in line, because it was also kind of crazy to see, you know, wow, this lady's over here really twirling real fire right now and could actually burn herself
Yeah.
bad if it goes wrong. So, but they're trained professionals. They had like a full setup and everything out there ready to hose this lady down. I'm sure if she managed to catch any part of herself on fire. But that was really cool to see. So we walk up to the front steps, and the front steps are, so there's the picture with me in it. Behind me is the front steps of the main building. And that main building had this creepy looking nurse who was giving the instructions about no vaping or anything in the building.
Yeah.
So if you go in, no vaping. Like if you nothing. If any of that stuff was caught, you're immediately escorted out of the place. Also, no touching the staff. If you touch any of the staff, they could escort you out of the place. So, and I get it because it's a scare. It's a haunt, right?
Yeah.
Don't touch the staff. They can touch you, but don't touch them. So it was cool. So we go through this haunt. That's why I walked left first.
Yeah, it's also about.
So we go through the main building. Like I'm going up to the main building. We're in a separate line, right? So I don't know if they did like a special experience for us because they separated us off. Say we're gonna call you in as group 2, and my son is freaking out right now. Right? He's like, "Oh my god, wait, are they gonna do like extra scary stuff to us? Oh no!" He's like, hyped up. But there's these 2 girls with us too, right? My wife's niece and her friend. So he's trying to like machismo and look, you know, not so scared, but he's shaking in his boots.
Yeah.
Which, it was hilarious. But we went through, and man, they had more amazing decorations, and they had these monsters that were, so to give it scale, it was probably 9 feet tall and maybe 8 feet wide, right? And they were animatronics. So when you walked up to a certain point, there was this cutout, and this giant monster comes at you like this, moving his hands to grab you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it scared me so bad. I didn't see that one coming. So we, and it had these glowing eyes and everything. It was amazing. So we go on, and they have all these different type of effects. They had this one room where there was these test tubes with all these different species of monsters and stuff in them, and they had this green lighting, laser lighting going across, but they had a fog underneath it with some watery like sounds that made it really feel like you were walking through some type of watery atmosphere. It was really well thought out and done the way I think they did it. So we progress on, and there's this room where this dude is getting electrocuted in an electric chair.
Yeah.
And he's flipping out. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was animatronics, but it looked so real, so lifelike. This dude just flipping out in the chair, and I'm like, oh my God, it's insane.
Yeah.
So your attention is immediately drawn to this dude flipping out in an electric chair. Meanwhile, there's this lady behind you. Ah!
Jesus.
Scared the crap out of me. Oh my God, dude. Walk through, I'm having a good time. I'm smiling at the same time, but a lot of this stuff is really quite creepy and scary. And we get to this other room. Now, this is something I had not experienced before, and my everybody I was with was telling me it's just an optical illusion. It didn't feel like an optical illusion. So they have this bridge, and the whole room appears to be spinning because it's a tunnel.
Yeah.
And they have this effect going around. Well, the bridge isn't secured to be steadfast. It shifts based on the shifting of your weight.
Yeah.
So the room is spinning, and then you're falling off. It felt like I was gonna fall off into this void. I kid you not. I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I'm like, I'm stuck, right? I'm thinking, oh, how am I gonna get up out of this thing, right? So they're telling me, it's not really real, but the bridge is tilted.
Yeah.
I have to tilt the bridge back and then stumble. Dude, I came out of that thing, I was so dizzy. I was so dizzy and disoriented from all of the motion of the room and not being able to catch your bearings very good going across this wobbly bridge. That is something that really sets up the 1-2 punch for the rest of the haunt, because now you're dizzy and disoriented in a dark environment that you can't really see all that well. A lot of flashing lights, fog, and people popping out of nowhere. Some people were like, and they have holes in these haunts that are like along the walls and the floor where people can grab and touch you, and like they can reach out and touch the top of your head. There was this one where, like, after I came through, I had on a hat. So as you can see in the photo, I had on a really big hat. But one of the girls with us, no one else had on a hat. Let me say.
Yeah.
They reached down from the top and rubbed across the top of her head. Oh my gosh, she freaked so hard.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I'm walking through. I got my little cross up. I'm like, oh my God, oh no. And the guy goes, that's not gonna help you here. So that was really cool. Like, the more I went through it, the more people were like, that's not gonna help you here. So it was fun. It was fun. We had a good time. And that wasn't like, that was really awesome. But then, like, that was just the second haunt. There's a third haunt and a fourth haunt yet, right? We haven't even went through those. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we go through the third one, and it was this basement-like area, but they made it smell like a actual damp, dank basement. And I was like, man, that actually smells, even though you know this is just decoration, right? Like, they're not having any true rot or anything like that. They somehow are kicking out a smell to make you feel like you're in this dank, really moist, and I'm not talking about the good kind of dank you were talking about. It's, so we proceed through that, and it's really quite cool. So you're like in this underground morgue almost, where they have all these chopped up bodies and everything and rotting people. And you go around this corner and they have this giant table with this giant prop body, but this body looks real. Like, it looks like a real giant fat dude. And it jiggles and it moves and everything just like a real body you would imagine. The difference is he's got a giant slash across the guts, and there's this lady who's a real lady on top of him, like playing in the innards and stuff and screaming and being wild. And it's like, oh, geez Louise. So we go through there, and there's this one, we end up in the room with this mad scientist, and he's trying to get everybody's brains, and it was just crazy. So that was pretty cool. And then we come to the last haunt. I'm gonna skip ahead. We're at the last haunt.
Yeah.
And the last haunt was particularly interesting because they introduced some long hallway paths. And these long hallway paths had some really, really interesting and dynamic characters in there. Particularly, one was this crazed girl in a what do you call those, straight jackets, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she had this awesome mask on that it looks like a pilot's mask. You know, those brown leather masks where they had the goggles on the pilot's thing. But she had like 8 goggle lenses on this thing. So it was like covering the majority of the face. So you saw these goggle lenses on it and all the leather strapping and the leather strapping of the straight jacket. And she breaks the straight jacket open to, you know, have the flapping hands with the leather things and everything. And she's like crawling and slithering up along the path next to us. And I'm trying to run away from her. She's touching my shoulder. I'm like, oh, it's so gross. So I hid behind my wife like any grown man would do. So that was pretty cool. And then I was thinking, okay, all right, we're about to hit the exit, right? Yeah, so I get around and there's another hallway. This one, it's very underlit along the floor. And you can see the fog along the floor. So you can see a minor light at the base of the hallway. So you kind of know where to go.
Yeah.
But all you can see is an outline up ahead. And if you've ever watched the X-Men and you've seen the Juggernaut, you kind of know what that looks like, right? That outline. Well, this guy had that outline. And he was just as freaking big. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. I'm a big dude. This guy made me look little. And he was freaking huge with a laser red cyborg eye and the jacked up Juggernaut collar. And he's just colossal coming down this freaking hallway. Like all the little cool outfit that they had put together on him looked really dark, had a dark coat on, like trenchy style coat and jacked up muscles and everything. I was like, oh no. So I hid behind my wife again. And I'm holding up my cross. He grabs me. He grabs the cross out of my hand like this and goes, ah. And I took it back and I ran down the hallway. I was like, I'm out of here. So I ran down the hallway. And that was cool. Then we come into this other hallway, and this one was spooky too. So right now, at this point, you're used to jump scares, right? So you're on the edge, and there's like all these ghosts lined along the side of the hallway. So think of like a ghost type of sheet costume, a person under a sheet type of deal. And there are several of them all along the sides of the hallway. You're just like, oh, where's the jump? Where's it coming from, right?
Yeah.
So you're just in suspense the whole way. I don't know if they just got somebody that was behind us or not, but there wasn't a jump in that one, which was almost as bad as getting a jump because your anxiety is through the roof, anticipating a jump that does not come. So I was like, oh my God, they hit the brakes on me that hard and just really. So I had my smartwatch on. I checked my heart rate after several of the haunts. Dude, I was pumping like 105, 110 beats a minute. It was insane. So we're wrapping up on that one, right? And I see the door. I'm like, oh, good. Here's the exit. It's over. It's over. And right at the freaking exit, there's this giant freaking one of those 8-foot, 9-foot things I was telling you about. There's another one. Like, oh my God, who put these in the budget? And it comes out and it's like, it comes at you really fast. They have this thing on a really fast extension. So it's like, woof, right into your face. And it's the size of Man, it's really huge. It's
Yeah.
really big. It scared the bejeebus out of me. One for the road, and when you come out of there, you go up some stairs, and it leads you to an outside picnic area where they have like all these carnival food and picnic tables and basketball game, and the area that I took pictures of to the right, where you can go and walk through and take some pictures. I took some pictures with my family and stuff, but I'm not gonna post them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really, really nice to actually go through. And if anybody's ever interested in a haunt, Penhurst Asylum, man, it was an amazing experience. Absolutely. And
I would never.
So you see that photo with the orange pumpkins?
Yeah.
That's the one I took a big family photo on there. And
Okay.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And it looks believable too, because I went to a Halloween thing too, at the local zoo, but that was not very believable. Like, it was all right, but this actually looks proper decoration, everything.
Oh, it's believable, buddy.
Yeah.
It is 100% believable. Like I said, that I thought that dude was really being electrocuted.
Yeah.
It was so. For me, as far as like that type of experience, that was a 10 out of 10 experience.
Yeah.
And the only recommendation I would have, unless you just have like a bunch of friends to go hang out with, get the skip the line pass, man, because I can only imagine if we had went during a time that was peak. So we went after Halloween was already over. So I just we went on the 3rd. So that was this Friday. If we had went last week, it's a zoo. It's an absolute nightmare because there's so many people. Even with the skip the line, you're probably going to be there several hours. We got there at 6:30 and left at about 8:45. So it was still a good time. We had time to eat thereafter, but we skipped a lot of people who were still in line. And my wife says before that, in some of these places, they wait in line for an hour and a half per haunt. So, yeah,
that's long.
So that can definitely change the scope of your day, right? So, there are 4 haunts. If you spent an hour and a half in line for each one, that's already 6 hours added to your day.
Yeah.
So if you get there at 6:30, it'll be 12:30 at best by the time you leave.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of
much.
Be fully aware that when these things are in full swing and at the top of their excitement, they're tough to get into.
Did you know? Also not kind of related, but not really, because we're talking about spooky things and all that. Yesterday, I watched a horror movie with someone else because I suggested it for once. Now, I am never much of a horror person at all. Like, I am scared to death. But the movie that we were watching was The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
So I watched it. Now,
I've seen it.
You've seen it. Although, actually, what are your thoughts on it? Because I honestly don't think it was that great of a movie.
I did not think it was good at all.
No. It's horrible, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want my time back.
Yeah. Same.
That's how I rate a movie. Do I want my time back or no?
Yeah.
If I want my time back, it's really bad.
It's really bad, yeah. There's one other movie that I watched recently was 65, I think, with that dude that plays Kylo Ren for Star Wars. Which is supposed to be a movie roughly around the time of the dinosaurs and stuff, where like shit goes to hell. Also really bad, and I would like my time back too. But anyway, The Pope's Exorcist though, The Pope's Exorcist, dude, I wanted to watch it because like, you know what, I have to get over my fears, so I watched it with someone, and it's not scary at all. It's laughable at most. Like, everything is so predictable.
Get over your fear.
Well, maybe not entirely, but for that movie in particular, like the demon or whatever, it wasn't scary whatsoever. Just
so there are different types of horror films.
Yeah.
Horror isn't the same across.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So, my wife loves the serial killer horror films.
Oh God. Yeah.
like this really happened, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of stuff, where oh, this person really was out there killing people, and this is how they did it, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's scary. Um, I don't like gore. I'll say that. I don't want a film where it's just chopping up the human anatomy in a million ways.
Yeah.
That's not really, you know, I'm not really into human dissection or whatever. But I do like some scary films where it's like more of the thought and
suspenseful, right? I think is the word.
Imagination can concoct and everything.
Yeah,
suspenseful.
Yeah.
I do love suspense.
Yeah. The gory movies for me also are. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching that either, but not that I would want to, but I wouldn't mind because it's just about the gore. The jump scares are always predictable and stuff like that.
You could watch like a Hellraiser movie and be completely cool with that.
I think I could, yeah. The ones that get me the most are like the supernatural ones, the ones that take their time with spooking you, where like they build up so much suspense, it's like, and then it just happens, right? That's when it gets me. But the cheap ones, it tends to be the cheap ones that I can watch. Like the Pope's Exorcist, for example, it felt so cheap throughout the entire movie that I wasn't really bothered at all.
So if you're talking about like stuff that really scares you,
yeah,
I think that there's this film it's a documentary in theaters right now called After Death.
Yeah,
and it's talking about people who had near-death experiences and stuff and what they experienced. That stuff's spooky to me because it's so real. It's like, I don't want to think about death or anything like that. But like, just people sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
And what that was like and what they saw, and it creeps you out, man, because everybody has. We all share one thing, and that's mortality. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we all have a finite amount of days. Spooky stuff like, oh man, and space stuff spooks the shit.
Space stuff spooks?
My wife.
Really?
No, not me. I love space stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds you of how tiny and insignificant of a speck you kind of really are. It's like, not that we're insignificant. Like, you could do some stuff as a human that could cause catastrophic events to take place on our planet, and thus in turn affect the solar system, and thus in turn affect the galaxy, right? Like, you can be one person and still have that much of an effect, but you can also just be one person amidst all of the dust and particles of even just our galaxy. Is so, like, screw galaxy, just the solar system is so humbling, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, the space stuff is. I like space stuff. Yeah, the fear of like there being a hole in the ship, whatever, and then suddenly like you're just in space and like you can't breathe and nothing, and you always see the explosion inside the suit. I don't know if that's how it really would go, but yeah, I like space stuff. What gets me the most is supernatural stuff and all that, like demons and all that. Like I can't cope with that.
Oh, I can deal with that.
Yeah,
but it's not to me real. Like,
yeah.
Space is very real. Like, that's happening in space is very real. So that's where I felt like, especially with games like Starfield, where I felt like they had a tremendous amount of opportunity to get creative with those worlds and expose people to some of those absolutely insane things that are going on in space. We are familiar with like lava volcanoes on Earth, but there's actually ice volcanoes in space. And most people don't know that they're actually volcanoes that spit out ice particles on, I forget which moon it is, but it's for one of the larger planets in our solar system.
Yeah.
But there's so many crazy cool things that are out there, that leaks of methane and all this other stuff, where it's like, man, it's just crazy to think about, you know. We're around here passing methane gas as farts, but on another planet, it's actually the majority of their surface is liquefied methane because of their harsh conditions. Some, it rains lead, you know, like, it's so cool, all the different types of places you could expose people to. But I don't know that they really hit the hammer on the head with that exploration piece.
I've always liked space games, but I just don't think that there's a space game out there that like really does it the way I want it to be done. I say, like for the exploration thing that you mentioned as well. Like I don't really feel like there's a space game out there that really shows you how much variety there is in a universe, because it's just too much. Right?
So, again, I think maybe this goes down to what people have the attention span to discover and explore, right?
Yeah.
So are we making the content that we want to make, or are we making the content that people want to consume? So like you're talking about a type of game that you would like to make, but you're not really concerned with who is going to consume it, because you're making it to cater to your taste, which is ultimately should be the driving factor, in my opinion, when people are making anything. Make what you want to make what you want to put out into the world, and let the people who are consuming it decide whether or not they want to take part in it. But at the same time, be true to your vision, be true to what you want to do, because that may be just what we need, the hero we needed but didn't want, right?
Yeah. The thing is, for the space thing, right, is my issue is just like, let's say it's a shooter game, right? Then the it would be more so just focus on the shooter aspect of it rather than like the space aspect of it, where like this entire story could have happened on Earth or something and it would have been the exact same thing, but just, you know, like they try to advertise it, but like, oh, but it's in space. But it's like you don't really get to see much of space. I know there isn't like much to see, because like it's just all, it doesn't look as colorful really from I's perspective. But that's kind of my thing. It's the same thing with certain fantasy thing too, where like there might be a random RPG or whatever, and they happen to have happen to have special races like an elf and an orc and then all that. But like that could have been just any other human being too. Like, where's the emphasis on showing like, oh, what's really special about the elf thing, or what's really special about the orc? I would like to see more detail with the surroundings in games. Like, for example, let's say if it's a space shooter, then like have more interactions with the environment of space. Yes, rather than just it being a shooter that happens to take place on the space station. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's what I would love to see. Yeah.
I love to see environmental interaction.
Yeah.
With video games that really makes you feel like you're a part of where you are.
Yeah.
Not that it's just a backdrop to whatever event is taking place in front of it. You're actually plugged into that space. Those things are actually actionable. Those things can actually be knocked over, or that debris can go flying here, or that barrel can be exploded, or that computer can be manipulated in some way.
It's only, I think it's only a handful of games like that. For me personally, like Kenshi is one that really wants you to, really just encourages you to find out more about the world. Have you ever played it?
I could not. I wasn't a Kenshi fan.
Oh. Okay.
When I looked at it, I was like, looks boring. But like I watched some of it, and it was like I'd see you take your tribe of warriors and do your thing and fight other stuff, and it was like not my style, right? Like I'm more of, especially when it comes to what I put on stream, I want it to be more high octane, or you know, something that's going to be really provoking as far as like its look to an audience, right? So there are games I want to play, and you said this sometimes too, that there are games you want to play off stream that aren't necessarily stream worthy. Yeah, but for sure there are games to me that I'd like for something to be going on the majority of the time. So when people do come in, they're not really just watching me fumble through a menu or something like that. They're actually watching things occur, and they feel like that there's something to be engaged. So I'm trying to keep my gaze more towards up-tempo games or popular games that will draw people in, especially in this crucial phase of newness, where I do want to grow up an audience, and I do want to be seen more by different groups to say, oh, okay, this guy's putting out content and doing this and that. Yeah, for sure. I definitely like the slower paced games like that, or a random strategy game. It all falls on the same thing, where like there is a certain community for it, but every other community is not necessarily okay with like going into that directory, because it is really boring because nothing much happens.
Now,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
really a strategy gamer.
like for example, Kenshi, right? The only way that I've tried to have like a workaround where it was kind of nice for people to watch was I would create characters after my viewers, so then the people can look at their character and be like, oh, yeah, that's me, you know.
Yeah,
That kind of
got
stuff.
killed.
That's the only way that I could make that really interesting, because by itself, there's only so much you can do. Again, there is a lot of freedom. Like, it's a good game in general, in my opinion, but like slower paced gameplay is really hard to grow on on Twitch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Darkside is pretty much
Always action. Yeah.
something's always
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
The only sucky part though is it's so expensive as far as the materials you need in the game that I was working towards a build and learning some blessings and stuff. Yeah, found out that build was gonna be trash. It wasn't gonna work. Now what? Now I have to start over again.
Yeah.
And collect materials again, to buy weapons again, to test again. Either that or I go watch a bunch of videos. So that was something else that like I realized had changed in the way we consume these video games, right? Like everybody say, yeah, you can go explore and figure these things out yourself, but the amount of man hours that would take you to do on your own is insane. Especially if you plan on playing any other games this year, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can go and unlock every weapon and try to figure out how they function and go test and see whether or not this would be, or you can group think, which is actually the system in which these games are designed to be consumed now. So back in the day, you'd go and get a game like Shinobi or whatever. You can jump on it and play it, and a lot of the builds were viable right out of the gate. Now, so much nuance. There's so much minutia with the details of these games. They did themselves a favor by, for the most part, predominantly using the same control schemes. But at the same time, it's like, I have to learn so much about your game.
Get your clothes on. You're getting out of here.
Yeah.
How are we, Johnny?
Yeah, Darktide for me though.
Not we.
I guess it just came at the wrong time. Because it's I did enjoy it when I played it again, but I also feel like there's other games that I would want to play too, because I don't think it's that bad of a game. If in the beta even, or whenever we played, I remember what it was, but early access, I don't know what it was, but it was cool, but it didn't have enough yet for me to continue on. But when I last played it, I did notice that there was a lot more added to it, and it's actually a decent game. But yeah, again, because there's so many options for different games, that like it's just not hitting that spot at the moment. But it is a game that I would maybe consider playing in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, it's don't get me wrong, it's a good game, and I've been enjoying it. But I'm gonna ask you about something else, because I think this is also something that's possibly hindering my stream.
Yeah.
And that's me gaming ultra wide.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
I know the elephant in the room is like, oh my goodness, ultra wide gamer.
Yeah.
So it's so weird the thought that, man, I gotta do 1440p to maximize the screen so that everybody can see more on their devices versus the extra stuff underneath, and I see less, right?
Yeah.
So there are some definite challenges that come with gaming ultra wide. A lot of the times these games, they put their UI elements at the extreme corners of the screen. Well, that's not directly in your field of view when you're gaming ultra wide. You're here. So all this other stuff is in your peripheral as far as crucial gaming information. So unless you have a customizable UI, it gets kind of tricky. Now checking your health goes from a little nod here to
Yeah.
looking over
Yeah.
there, and then looking back. And now you've lost focus on the middle of the screen, and the far right of the screen is even further out of the question. So, like, I do love how immersive it is. And if you've ever ultra wide gamed, like, man, you feel like you're in that thing. And now I just kind of confused sometimes, because I do love ultra wide gaming. I do love my setup, but it's like, well, what do I do? Do I do what's best for me, or do I do what my community would prefer to do so that they can see the
Age-old
screen
question.
better?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I'm having a hard time reconciling that. I predominantly watch Twitch from my PC.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't really care if somebody has something like that going on. I'm watching from a big enough screen, right?
Yeah.
For somebody that may be watching from a mobile device or a tablet, it might make the experience just that much more undesirable that
Yeah.
they would not watch.
The thing is,
Weird to me, because I've seen some people with their cams,
yeah.
and they're covering like a giant portion of the screen
Yeah.
because they're trying to smash their cam onto the gameplay,
Yeah.
and then the text overlay on top of the gameplay, and then you got all this stuff on top, and then they have banners and everything. It's like, well, is that really better? Because it looks in some ways worse and more crowded to where
Yeah.
you have all this stuff, banners on the top and bottom, and then you got your alerts and everything, and your cam and all this stuff, and by the time you get done with it, the box in the middle is like, that's all you got. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a better end user experience to be able to see all those stats, or not having to worry about what UI elements I'm blocking for my viewers. So yeah, you can see the ammo at any time, you can see my health at any time, you can see
Yeah.
all those things at any time. So it's definitely like some pros and cons, back and forth considerations.
So the thing about that is it really depends, because you can get away with anything as long as you do it smart, right? With how you set up your stream. So with how I know that you have it set up, which is just ultra wide screen, and then you have a big bar on the bottom, basically, right? And there's nothing else there other than your name, right? For as far as I remember, I don't know if there's anything else added to it.
There's a follower goal. and
Yeah,
my
that,
name.
yeah.
There's my cam, my heart monitor, and then on the far left is the chat.
Yeah. So for that, I would say that opens up options for other stuff that you can put there, like interactive mini games or something that people like to play, because actually the younger generation, they love having extra distractions, like the little miniature characters that each viewer, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They love that kind of stuff. They love other type of mini games, or like if you do Stream Raiders, by the way, I could also recommend that for you if you're starting out. Stream Raiders is a mini game that you can play, and you can have the Stream Raider box somewhere in there, and then whenever it's ready to pop, you just press play. But just look into Stream Raiders and you'll probably see more and stuff. But Stream Raiders is a mini game that you can also get new viewers from, because people will randomly find you and then they'll check out like, oh, what's the stream like or something, and then yeah. That's something that I used to do while growing ESO as well. I would have Stream Raiders up, and then sometimes I would get follows from that too. So, okay, how do I explain this short? Let's say every 15 minutes or something, there's like a mini game where you just press play and then a battle plays, and anyone in chat or whatever that is also on Stream Raiders, they'll just drop a character there that participates in the fight, and then every 10 or 15 minutes there's a fight, and then you show it, like it auto plays, and then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, so Stream Raiders, so like that kind of stuff you can add to it because you have the space anyway, you know?
I noticed that like you're doing really well with your YouTube videos and increasing your level of exposure. What's the goal for Z and
The goal?
your Twitch channel? Yeah, like what's the push? I've been talking about what I'm trying to build with my channel, but I'd like to hear has there been an evolution in your channel?
Yes.
And direction, and what your plans are?
I've personally evolved so much over the years. Now, to someone that is outside of my circle of peoples, let's say, It doesn't even have to be like close friends or anything, but can definitely tell that, like, yeah, viewer wise, it's not going as great as how it used to be, right? Because it went down, and that's very clear too. But what I have learned over the years is very relevant information as to what I need in order to get what I want now, and I'm going to try my best to do that. So like I said, for example, I always wanted to like have like a community that's tight, close, whatever, hang out and stuff, just basically friendship and all that. That's what I wanted. I still stand by that. Always wanted that. However, when I first started streaming, my focus was more on player versus player experiences within Elder Scrolls Online, and I attracted mostly the wrong audience for that, because that's the reason why my channel went in decline, is because I wanted to focus on more of the things that I enjoy doing and sharing and all that. I do believe that now, with the knowledge that I have of like, okay, I know what to do. So if I were to play a game, I need to have the focus on more casual things, like, hey, what did you have for dinner? Or like, I don't know, but or like, let's say you had a Halloween thing, right? Like I would just randomly ask in chat, like, oh, what did you guys do for Halloween? And then just actually end up talking about that kind of stuff. So that would encourage more interaction with not just me and the viewer, but also with everyone in the chat too. So I've learned that now. So whatever I do, I have to focus on actual conversation rather than gameplay, because the focus on gameplay is what killed my channel, because that wasn't supposed to be the focus of my channel, and it became the focus of my channel. So that means that if I'm no longer playing the game that people come in for, then they will not, you know, they're just gonna go if I'm not playing that game. And that's just that's just how it is. It's rough, but if I manage to attract the people that are there to get for like a cozy environment and stuff where we can hang out, a safe space, then you know, I will attract those people, and those people will then form a community with me.
Yeah.
And the reach, however, this is where it's a bit tricky with the reach, because initially, you know, I thought that Twitch, I could just get away with just doing Twitch, but as you see now, like, it's my channel was in decline. Twitch that's the worst decision I've made, and I've learned from that now. So that's why I'm trying to do YouTube and TikTok as well. Now the thing on YouTube though is I'm more so interested in YouTube and how everything works with the algorithm, and like what hits and what doesn't hit, certain titles, certain file names and stuff, because everything matters. File names, the way you upload things, do you upload over phone or do you upload over PC? Because there's been theories about like there being differences in results with phone and the PC kind of stuff. Positive versus negative impact videos. So like, are you a positive person or are you a negative person? Like, let's say you just complain about a lot of shit in a video, you can get a lot of views from that. But you can also do a positive video, and how many views do you get from that? So I'm really interested to see what I can do with my YouTube and like how everything works, because I just want to figure things out. So I'm trying to like reach out to more people through YouTube and just basically experiment a lot. So I don't really have a stance on like what do I want from YouTube, but I know that I just want to learn how to get certain results from YouTube, mostly. So my goal for Twitch is very different than what I want from YouTube, but they still intertwine, because let's say I do happen to stumble across a better formula of how I can get more people to interact with me from YouTube, and that will carry over to Twitch eventually anyway. So like, it works either way. Yeah.
So, do you ever have the conversation with yourself as to what it would look like for you if your online presence was to catapult to an astronomical level? Is that something that you would even be open to, or would you then kind of recoil away from the online presence because it's bigger of an ask on your personal life than you want?
That's the thing. So I've given that much thought, because that's kind of what I went through with music in a way, with the attention that was given to me with music, where at first it was nothing and I was just at home, and then next thing you know, there's a lot of people that want to work with me and all that. So I have my separate stories for that, but the same thing for streaming. This is why I personally believe that as long as you have a good foundation, it'll be okay. Like if you, like, for example, if you did some fucked up shit years ago and you suddenly catapult, that shit is going to come to light 100%, and that's going to hunt you, and people are going to hate you for whatever you did the last couple years, and that will just not, it's not going to stop. So as long as you have a solid foundation, which I do believe I have at this moment, like even in the previous years of me streaming, there have been some things that have happened, but I've always made sure that everything is like fine on my end. Like there's nothing I can do to change things. Like things are the way things have been the way they are, and I've always made sure to explain myself proper if there was something that goes wrong. So in that department, in terms of drama, I don't think that's ever going to be a case for me, because I don't really have outstanding drama or anything like that. And that's added to the whole foundation thing. So it's the same thing with the focus. I have never once said on Twitch that I want to pursue streaming because I want to have money and I want to be worshipped and whatnot and all that. So at the end of the day, I've always said that I've wanted a community. So if my Twitch suddenly catapults, I've never said anything bad. So I think my foundation is solid enough where I would not be hurt to a degree with other people, with like once they blow up, then people find out all kinds of shady shit in their past, because I don't really have that. So I do think I have an edge there that some streamers might not have, because you know how, for example, let's say you're an intensive Call of Duty gamer. There's probably a chance that at one point you said the hard N word, let's say, right? That can hunt you down, dude, for the rest of your life and career. You know, it's over. But I don't really have that.
It's weird. I think the tide is shifting on the N word. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be at a place where everybody's saying it. I've listened to music now, and it's like, wait, you guys are overseas. Why are you using it in your music? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Like, everybody wants in. I went to the barbershop. I was the only black guy in there, but guess what? There are several Hispanic people using the word, and I was like, like, I don't use it. I don't use it in my life, and my family doesn't use it. I detest it in every way. I do feel like we're in a space where, like, and it's becoming so ubiquitous that how can you continue to police who can and can't say it? I don't think I know of another word that is so accepted and so rejected at the same time. Like, it's universally accepted, but also you can be counseled for using it. And it's like, wait a minute, which one is it? Is it acceptable or not? Because every other word is only acceptable or not. It's not both. Like, but yeah, that's a deep can of worms to unpack.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, and also because you mentioned the thing about like, what if I start suddenly blow up and all that? I think, of course, I'm gonna go through the same emotions as anyone would if they were to go viral and all that. But I also know that I now have enough experience to. I'm not saying that I'd be perfectly okay with dealing with it and everything. I'm gonna have my issues, of course. Same thing as if you win the lottery. Like if you suddenly win the lottery, you're gonna be in shock, and like you're gonna have to deal with a lot of things, or like people around you that suddenly know that you have so much money and shit. Yeah, you have to deal with that. But I do think that foundation wise, that I've learned a lot over the years, where I think I would know what to do. Like for example, for if I had money, let's say, right, I could easily mix that with streaming content as well, where you know how certain people do like charity stuff and all that. Like you could say like, oh, you're doing it because of the views. Like, does it matter whether or not I'm doing it for views? I'm still doing a charity. That's the whole point of it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So then like you can do that kind of stuff too. And I've always felt for streaming and friendship in general that I have to try my best to make situations into a win-win situation, never a win-lose situation, because that's the one person is going to feel bad, or someone's going to get hurt or whatnot. So as long as I can make a win-win situation, so if I get success or anything, you know, as long as I don't fuck up and just be the way I am, I think things should be okay. Yeah, I'm not too worried.
I've had to have that conversation with myself as to whether or not I would like it if I went viral or something.
Yeah.
It was ninja, not ninja. But like, I think to myself, like, I'd really have to have a serious conversation again.
Yep.
I don't know whether or not I want it to have that level of a place in my life, right? Like, this has a purpose, and career path wasn't really it, and it's hard to marry up the amount of work I end up putting into my stream to improve it to the purpose of what I'm looking to do, right?
Yeah.
What I'm looking to do is grow a community and have some like-minded gamers.
Yeah.
But what I feel like I have to do to get to that point is more of the professional side of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Get up all the attention and have everything, like all the socials and all the stuff connected. And it's like, oh man, like
Yeah.
this is a strange place to kind of be, to marry all these things together. I don't know. I'd really have to like take a step back and say, okay, this really was this whole platform.
The thing is, a lot of people, if you are in a position, for anyone, right? If you are in a position where you are in a Discord and you play with friends that you've known for so long, that I would consider that to be a very lucky position to be in, because if you don't know anyone, getting yourself into a position where you have a trustworthy people around you, where you can I don't know, share your feelings and also play games with and all that, that's actually very difficult. It's very, very difficult. I've not really like over the years, of course, I've met so many people, but the people that I feel comfortable talking to about whatever and all that, that's actually not as much as a random person might think, because like it's easy to come into the stream right now and be like, oh look, he knows he knows Jay Slayer and there's like some people in chat and all that, so he probably has it covered, like where he probably has life together. No, it's just like the behind the scenes of everything. no one has shit together, right? It's really difficult to actually have a community, a proper community, right? It's easy to call something a community, but yeah.
When I think about the whole community aspect and your viewership that you end up having, it kind of does make it feel a little weird sometimes, because these viewers are also the people that are supporting you, whether it be through subscriptions or bits or donos or whatever it is they're doing. Like, it does kind of put the situation like a little weird, because like, would you normally just do this for a friend you were interacting with in person?
But that's the thing, though. Yeah,
these people like regular friends that you interact with in person, right? So
yeah,
like when I interact with somebody like Mash P or something like that, it's like the homie, right? So
yeah,
it's like, you know, what's going on, Levant? What's going on, Cass Brown? But like, these are also the same people that end up throwing bits your way or the other thing, and it kind of does remind you, oh wait, we do kind of have a somewhat different dynamic in there, but you're also still like the homie, you know?
Yeah. It's Twitch, because you mentioned like it's kind of weird to like get to how to react to subs and whatnot. But this is a thing that you go through when you're new to streaming. I know that as well, because at first I was also like, this is so weird to like have people come in and just support me and stuff like that's. But over time, it's just it's very normal. It becomes normalized to just it's a thing in general in life that you have to learn to accept. You know, like learn to accept things, basically. Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I know you were the worst. Like I'd do a few things and send you a few things where you're like, oh man, you didn't have to, I refunded.
Yeah.
You just say the word, and it's like, dude, I didn't get a refund. Like, just say thank you and go on. Like,
it's the same thing with donation goals and stuff as well. Like I'm now okay with it too, because at the end of the day, man, like if you as a person are bothered that I am accepting a sub or donation, then that should not be the person that I should be hanging out with anyway, because that is by no means any focus of mine that that we should care about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's why I was like, for you, dude, a dono goal for like a Game Pass membership or something is way more approachable every month to have, you know, your stream help out with that, if that's something that is going to help you provide that level of content and be engaged with them in those games that they want to see you play.
Yeah.
So these are like costs of doing business, right?
Yeah.
But I think everybody kind of get a Twitch Prime too.
Can I get a Twitch Prime too? Levant. Yeah.
These people are really awesome people to know, and like I said, it takes some of them out. Like, what am I talking? I haven't gotten any donos or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I can understand how that would make a person feel a little like, I don't know, like weird or iffy about it, and I see how you felt the way you felt when, you know, people would do things for you or give you some outrageous donation or something. You're like, oh. I think I remember I gave you something to like take Alpha out or do something nice for Alpha or something, and you're like, oh, that's a lot. It's like, nah, dude, really in the scheme of things, I look at it like, what would I pay for the level of entertainment that I've received? So if I go to a movie and the movie is an hour and a half long and I paid $20 to go see that movie, if I've watched your stream for over 20 hours, over 50 hours or whatever, why can't I pay you the same I paid to go see a movie? You know?
So
If I've enjoyed your content enough to enjoy watching for that long, I think everybody should feel that same. Like, if you're enjoying the content, do what you can. Twitch used to have this integration where you could get bits by watching ads.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could,
oh yeah, no, I do remember. Yeah.
You could watch ads and they would give you bits.
Yeah.
And you could in turn then use those bits to tip some of your favorite streamers. I used to do that even when I didn't have like money. I'd still watch some ads here and there to get extra bits to tip some of my favorite streamers, which was thinking about it in retrospect, like how far we've come, man.
So with I just wanted to talk about something. I just forgot what it was. I read Levant's messages and I forgot. Levant said, I'm outside where I try to spend $0 on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like it's not a must for you to subscribe to me or whatever, anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, to not make it about my stream, but just in general. That's also how I think that if like for a video game versus like doing something like going outside or something, like sometimes you can get like, I don't know, 40 hours out of a video game. It's like $20. It's like that's worth way more than paying like $200 for like 1 hour somewhere outside, let's say. Also depends on what exactly you're doing, but I also think about it like that, like how many hours can I get out of this, and then if it's worth the money. I would rather PayPal if I was Sedona, so it goes to them 100%. Yeah, I've had, the funny thing is I've had that happen once where someone actually donated the sub amount rather than doing the sub itself, and then I was a bit confused because I'm like, this feels super random. They said like, yeah, I'd rather give it to you because then, you know, Twitch doesn't take the other half or whatever. And I'm like, wow, I've never thought about it like that. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That brings up another interesting possible. Well, unfortunately, this isn't open to you.
Yeah.
I was looking at Discord and all of the stuff you can do with the Discord store if you're a U.S. Resident.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. But their subscriptions, they give 90% to the Discord owner. So 90% of that goes to that actual content creator's channel. So like it's quite the far cry when you have like, oh, okay, somebody got a Prime sub, you get 60% of it or whatever the case may be, and then Twitch gets the other. It's like, dude, you didn't,
not that much. Well,
I don't know what the actual cut is, but like it comes out to being less than impressive, I would say, for those people. So I wonder if you're going to see more of the people pushing for support in other areas. Like,
you see this is why people went to Kick.
You know,
this is why people went to Kick, and like this is why people are really crying for like alternatives, because it is way too crazy now that like for most of the services that we use, that a large percentage doesn't even go to the creator. That's a big thing.
It's also curious too. So like, I'm not gonna say it's completely unwarranted because it's worth what you'll pay for it. Let me say that. Whatever it is in life is worth what you will pay for it. So if I'm selling a ham sandwich for $200 and you buy it, it's worth $200. If you don't, it's not. So like, if we support something and we take that cost, then we're saying, okay, we're okay with it. But I think Twitch has established itself, even back in its Justin TV days, as the go-to source for gaming streaming, right? So now you have alternatives that are surfacing, but they are not as deeply immersed in the scene and have the technology and the things available that Twitch has already integrated. So is it worth that extra loss to have access to those extra features, like some of the stuff where you can just get up and go to streaming immediately and have alerts built in and all the other things that come with stream content managers? I don't know.
On a lower level, you can even think about 7TV versus Franker Faces and Better Twitch TV, or even like your face into 7TV, because 7TV offers so much more, so many more emote slots and stuff that the others do not really cannot really compete against and stuff for absolutely nothing, basically.
Does that not integrate well with YouTube though?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know anything about YouTube and like 7TV and or what are you talking about? You're talking about 7TV and stuff, right?
7TV and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that works or if that's a thing or not. I'll be honest with that.
So that would be the only curiosity for me. So the thing, I think ultimately YouTube is a better streaming platform for my preference. I have YouTube Premium. I would love watching every streamer that I want to watch commercial free.
Yeah.
It's nice. It comes with so many other benefits. Like I have Google Play. I have all this other stuff. YouTube Music, rather, that I listen to my music on. So I don't have to pay for stuff like Spotify or all this other stuff. So like it's nice to have that consolidated into one big streaming service bundle. But at the same time, it's like now I have these other things on Twitch. I don't spend so much on Twitch anymore because I just, still throw my Prime subscription out every here and there. And I might do some donos, but like
Yeah.
I moved away from the bits and stuff, and I moved away from the in-ecosystem Twitch purchases because it was so jarring for the content creators to get that $10 and know that they're only going to receive 6 of those $10. And
That's a lot.
I want to.
That's generous.
I want to ultimately support those content creators.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes me feel away. So
Yeah. No, it's like I do have to emphasize, like, it's really crazy how, like, I can't talk about specifics legally, right? Like I just cannot. But I can say that I really do feel like the content creators they deserve a little bit more than that than what we're getting right now.
yeah.
It's rough, man. Yeah. It's rough. Most people that stream, and like even if they get like continuous amounts of subs and all that, most of their money still comes from other sources. It's not even Twitch itself. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Affiliate links I saw in one video are like huge. People getting tons of kickback off affiliate links. That's why even when I was buying games and stuff, I'd go to Humble and buy games off of your
Humble.
Like,
yeah. So, Humble's good. Yeah.
It was definitely my preferred go-to to save some bucks and support the streamer. They'd even tell me how much they were giving you, so I know it's like, oh man, that's cool. These guys just got X amount of bucks for just me buying the game I was already gonna buy. That's cool. It's like me buying a game and them tipping you. So that was something that I
definitely feel like Humble Bundle is still an honest service for sure. Whereas with Twitch, not so much.
Those type of supportive links when it comes to supporting content creators. So if you're gonna get something anyway, get it through a link that'll help them out. Why not?
Yeah. Also, Levant mentioned issue with the alternative so far as the all gambling sponsor some racist cesspit. Yes, and sucks all the negative content streamers were the first to migrate to Kick. Yeah, so I did bring up Kick, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I think that Kick is amazing or anything. Like it's just an alternative. It's just an alternative for sure. Like the issue with Kick that I feel like, right? I could be wrong, right? But I've also done like how I look at streamers on Twitch and stuff, and I kind of want to find out like what makes them grow and stuff. I did the same thing with Kick. Like, okay, what is really good about Kick? What can you get out of it and whatnot? The thing is, like, yes, you can with this the same amount of viewers and stuff, you can get more money out of Kick than Twitch. However, Kick is a little bit shady for me, because when I've seen certain people stream on it and all that, I kind of feel like people are just getting boosted at a certain point, because it's not an accurate representation of what they would receive if they were on Twitch versus Kick. So I actually feel like that maybe Kick just kind of boosts the numbers a bit for actual affiliate or partners or whatever, rather than like real views, because Kick feels a bit too easy from what I've seen, which can be good, but I feel like it's also kind of a trap, because it's the same thing with like just imagine it like this, right? I'm used to streaming for like 10 people, with maybe three active viewers. That's how it is. Now I feel like I could easily swap over to Kick, and let's say I would bring my own community over. I feel like the numbers would then be 20 to 30, But then I would also feel really awkward, and it's the same reason why I don't really do the whole legal view botting with embeds and everything and all, or just view botting in general. It's just I feel a bit awkward because then that takes away from like your stream quality, because someone will probably come in and be like, why is this chat so dead for like having 80 people? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So I don't think it's worth for that reason. So yeah, I feel like Kick is a bit shady with the view numbers, but I have no evidence to back it up. It's just based on my own viewing experience as a user. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I don't know. I think I would like to see more of my shift towards YouTube audience, and honestly, now that you're going to be not going to be, but are multi-streaming, I may be watching your stream more over at YouTube. But here's here's the catch though, like, does multi-streaming hurt you in some way, right? So if we think about the ecosystem and how it's set up, there are only two ways to really go commercial free, and that's either through a subscription or through buying Twitch Nitro, not Nitro, whatever Twitch is, Turbo or whatever. Yeah. Which also doesn't help the streamer, right? So you pay Twitch to avoid commercials, and they don't help any of the streamers. They just take the cash. Now, it almost directly incentivizes somebody like myself who has YouTube Premium already to go watch a stream over on YouTube and stop subbing. So if I stop subbing, now the content creator is losing out on even more subs, because you're multi-platform, and I actually have another benefit on that platform that helps me circumvent being inundated with ads, right? So it's kind of a catch-22, but kind of not, because I don't think the use case is that huge. I don't know that many people are buying YouTube Premium. But I do know that for somebody like myself, if I were paying for a subscription out of pocket, I use my Twitch Prime subscription on you. So if I were paying for a subscription out of pocket, it almost incentivizes me to lower my level of support, if that makes sense. So now I don't pay for a sub anymore. I can just go watch a commercial free on YouTube. But awesome.
The thing is, right, like it's good that you mention that, because we also have to think about the fact that, like, is this relevant income that I'm making? It's not. it's really not. Like, if you start subbing to me or not, that's still like, it's not gonna budge much. Or let's say 5 people stream less, the money is so little compared to like what you need to actually live off it, that it doesn't really matter whether you go to YouTube or Twitch. And both cases also doesn't matter for me without the money, but just let's say in terms of views, because I'm not at a relevant level where it matters, where like if I have 60 Twitch viewers that then drop to 30, because that is a significant decrease for like certain categories, you would notice it that much. Like, I'm not at that level at all. So right now, if you were to swap over, it wouldn't really affect me that much, other than like the small amount of money of a sub. But that's like what I can't go over specifics, right? It's also a region specific, so it depends on where you live and how much it costs for a sub. But I'm just gonna throw a random number, and whether, you know, I can't say much about it, but just a random number.
I'll throw a random number. Let me throw a random number.
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah. Let's say is that, right? Let's say I get that for sub. That's really not that relevant for the total income, because my total income, which I can also not talk about, but let's just say it's somewhere between 50 and 80 a month. Yes.
And so from what I understand, you also have to reach a certain threshold before you can even get the payout for the money you got anyway. So
yes, that I cannot talk about either. But
well, no, they're clearly listed on their affiliate thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know.
That's where I looked at it at, where they have anyway. So I'm not asking you to talk about that part, but all I'm saying is, like, even when you get, let's say, 5 subs or whatever the case may be, times 3, that's $15. Let's say your threshold was $100 before they pay it out. You still have to get to that before they pay it out. So that's just money sitting in their account, in their hands, until you reach that threshold to pay it out.
Yeah. But I think it makes sense though, because like there's like, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but there's a lot of like irrelevant streamers that don't really make enough to really care about, where it would just cost them a lot of money to like give them like $5 worth of a sub or something, you know, like that's just, they're gonna have to pay for service fees probably. I'm assuming, I don't know how it works. So I like, the reason why they made that limit is because of that, because there are a lot of Twitch channels that just don't have anything at all, and it's a lot of work for them for sure to to automate and everything and to monitor. So it would make sense.
I do think Twitch has a really strong stranglehold on the gaming streaming space right now.
Oh, for sure, yes, for sure.
Whether or not that is to change in the near future,
Yeah.
it remains to be seen. I looked at Kick and it looks very familiar to Twitch to me.
Yeah.
It seems
Dude,
very much.
that's the
like
thing.
they
Yes.
went with the Flavor Aid
Yeah.
of Kool-Aid, you know, like
Yeah.
they copied everything they could. And it's a very similar experience thus far. But
Yes.
I don't know, like where does YouTube fit in that whole scenario and how is that going to play out?
That's the thing. Here's the thing about like.
I think what YouTube needs to do
Yeah.
is have a different URL for their streaming instead of youtube.com. Like if you go to Twitch, you know what you're going. You're going to go see streaming. If you go to YouTube, you might get live streaming, you might get regular stuff, but like it's kind of nestled in with everything else, and you have to go and look for live content.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? My whole thought, because I've given this so much thought of how I feel about Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So hear me out. Here's the thing. The thing with Kick is it tries to appeal to people of what they're familiar with. However, Kick does not offer the same functionality as Twitch, therefore it automatically loses. There's so many things that YouTube has that Kick just does not have at the moment, including this feature that we have right now. I believe I'm pretty sure that this feature does not exist. This whole Twitch stream together. Other things as well, the whole emote integration and all that. Although that might be upcoming, I'm not sure. There's just so many things that Kick does not have. Then there's just no reason to go to Kick really, other than like if you like a specific content creator. As a newer person for streaming, right? Like yeah, your option is Kick or Twitch, and Kick would do a better payout if you're trying to do something. But then for the amount of growth, you just have to just think and just realize that like a lot of people are not really moving from Twitch because like what does Kick offer that Twitch doesn't? It's just only the content creators. So if you're a content creator is yeah,
That's money.
like there's no real incentive for someone to watch, for someone to swap over to Kick, because Twitch offers the exact same thing. Provided if you do not know any content creators and you have just Twitch and just Kick, why would you pick Kick? There's no reason. Twitch has way more. Now for YouTube, oh sorry, yeah.
So feature parity is definitely a big thing. If you don't have the same feature set as Twitch, you can't ask for the same money. So you have to be cheaper. But I do feel that once Kick gets up and rolling, they get to that Twitch-esque level, guess what they're going to do? They're going to be charging the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have to pay for the same R&D.
Yeah.
They have to pay for the same advertising. They have to
same
pay
thing.
for the same stuff that Twitch does. So like, you're just kind of, I don't know, moving the goalpost on yourself at some level. Like, we're really going to end up in the same thing at the same time. Twitch being bought out by Amazon was, it was kind of nice in some ways to me, because I did enjoy giving out my Amazon Prime subscription and actually feeling like I had a chance to support some of my favorite streamers. I get that it's not the greatest amount, but every little chip in I think does help, and I've never felt like anybody was unappreciative of a Prime gaming sub versus a normal sub. But to speak real quick to Stream Together on Twitch, this is a copying of a site that already does this. So Twitch took this from somebody else. So this wasn't something they came up with. This was something that was already in use and you could do it for free. So you don't necessarily have to use Twitch for this. There was a site I was looking at through one of the videos, the tutorial videos I had looked at, and they went over it in great detail on how to use it. And I had already been playing with something like this. So when I saw it come up on Twitch, I was like, holy cow, Twitch has built it into their own system. So you don't have to go outside of their ecosystem to do this type of thing. And also they did one step further to say, now we can give your guest accountability for their own.
Yeah, that's huge.
And have all of that go against them. So they added their own flavoring to that to say, okay, now we'll give you another incentive to use us instead instead of those. Even if
Yeah.
it runs better, even if it gives you more options because they've been around longer and we're just getting started with it, we can give you protection against those guests and give you a peace of mind to know that your channel is going to be safe, which is huge.
Yeah, that is huge. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the YouTube one. So YouTube streaming. The issue with YouTube is that YouTube has the people for it to where they can build upon focusing more on live streaming if they wanted to. I don't know why they haven't already, because it's really not that difficult. There are so many people that use YouTube since like before Twitch, right? The issue is discoverability. Like I opened this website. This is what you see, right? As a YouTube viewer. Oh, you actually have live now. Before, it's really awkward. Like there should be a category, just like how Twitch has it. Well, let me open Twitch as well. Why do we not have this? Different categories. Why is it not a thing? Instead, we have streams.
Absolutely.
Like if it's that easy. Like it's really that easy. Because a normal YouTube person would never ever think of like oh, let me check out a YouTube live stream. But if the option is there in their face, like, hey, these are the possible categories of what you could potentially watch, then it's like, okay, maybe I will do that. Yeah.
They also have that live tab on the left you can click. I don't have a live up top on mine. Let's see if I go.
Like, this is so bad. This is so bad.
That's so bad. So like the ability to actually oh my god, dude. First thing comes up for me is your podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like it really is very difficult to find what you're looking for with what they have and the way it's set up.
Yeah.
Even if you click on the link for live on the left,
Yeah.
it's a hodgepodge of live content. All you have is like view all or show more. Well,
Yeah.
they do have one that's general gaming, right? Like, bro,
They do?
I need more than just, yeah, it's like live now, gaming.
Oh yeah, gaming. Right,
There's
true. Yeah.
only well, no, there's view all. View all. Oh boy. Just a general menagerie of people playing various stuff. You don't even know if it's something you want to.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even know that this existed, but that shows you that they should work on like making it more accessible, because I didn't even know that this category thing was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sad, no? Like and that's the thing. Like I would be considered an average viewer, right? An average user of YouTube. Now, I have not for years known that. Yes, I could go into categories like this, but then it's like, it's too many clicks already. It takes 3 specific clicks of you knowing what you're doing in order to get to that category. Whereas I feel like if you have live, you should just already have categories there, bam, done. You can even, if you want to, have what they have right now, like most watched channels, that's completely fine. Same thing how Twitch homepage has it. But there should be an option with categories right below it to make it really easy for people to see.
These are their categories though. Live now, recent live streams. Oh, scroll down.
Yeah.
And you'll see
gaming.
Yeah, you'll see the gaming section. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm just in a general gaming section.
That's bad.
People just have to fish for random gaming. And it's like, guys, help us out. Help people be able to find us and find our content. If you're looking for somebody playing Darktide,
they probably spend millions on like recoloring YouTube, making buttons like a slightly more fancier, but something as this, which I think is crucial, because there's so much money to be made off live streaming. It's crazy. Like it doesn't. They already have the service available, right? Just make it more discoverable on your page. That's all. Because the thing is, right? People might not know this, right? For if you're not into YouTube streaming or anything. But yes, you can also do the super chat stuff, which basically, like, let's say, gifts or donations to your favorite content creator while they're live. You can do that. So yes, you can actually still do the same thing as like bits, but then on YouTube. And so they are missing out on a lot of money by just not having this easily accessible for everyone. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of like big channels like these news channels or VTubers and all that YouTube is their main platform, and that's fine. But
So
for everything, for like the mid tier or lower tier of levels of streamers, they could have so much more.
you don't have a category for your live stream. You're not in gaming. When
What?
I go to gaming for live, I don't find you. I scroll through all of the channels in the gaming live.
It should be
section.
people and blogs, is it not?
Why are you doing people in blogs? You're a gamer.
No, but like this is just a VOD type of thing, or VOD. Sorry,
The
podcast.
podcast?
Yeah, podcast. Yeah. If
You
Huh?
stream gaming? Do you put
yeah,
in the
gaming. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. And music for music. Yeah. But yeah, it's really strange.
Live, I
this-
see recent live stream. Live now news, live now gaming, live now sport. Oh boy, oh no. I don't see a live now for the category you're talking about.
really?
So
That might be an issue with the restream then.
is this on the left? So I see explore. And is this also another
Yeah, you're right. Why am I not in the category? Huh?
So if I'm looking on the left, I see explore. There's trending, shopping, music, movies and TVs, live gaming, news, sports, learning. If I click on gaming, these are all pre-recorded videos. These aren't live events. The live events section where people are actually live streaming right now, it doesn't have all
Dude.
the categories. It only has 3 of the categories: sport, gaming, news. That's it.
Yeah, so okay, this might be an issue then with the thing that, because I'm using Restream within OBS, separate thing that I added to OBS, and then you can restream, right, for multiple things.
Yeah.
These ones, the categories that they have for YouTube is like film, animation, auto, vehicle, music, pets, animals, sports, blah blah blah, so on, so on, so on, and they also had video blogging people and blogs. So I would assume that I could just go there, but now I'm seeing this now myself as well on YouTube. I actually do not have a category. That kind of hurts me, because then there's absolutely zero discoverability with no category. But then I'm also thinking, okay, this is an issue for off stream. Figure it out. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that's
Got off
interesting.
on a tangent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how much longer you anticipate on going, but I think I'm kind of
Yeah.
ready to go ahead
Yeah.
and go relax a little bit.
I'm A-okay with that.
This Sunday evening, get some food in my system, have
Yeah.
a little tasty beverage. And,
Yeah.
Man, I can't thank you enough for having me on your channel and on your platform.
Oh, thank you,
all the
dude.
help you've extended towards me to get my
Oh.
stuff up and running, and it's been great, man. Your community is probably a lion's share of the people who've come out to support me. So it's a great
And
testament to
That's what I'm trying to grow, man. That's what I'm trying to grow. I'll get there eventually. Yes.
great testament to you and your community as a whole, man. You're really great people. I enjoy.
Yeah. The only thing that I wish, real quick, only thing I wish is, but it's also myself, I need to be more active on Discord, and I need Discord to be more active, but it's really rough to do because I'm just not much of a person that shares a lot, I guess. But yeah, I'll get there eventually. Yes.
Yeah, you are kind of shy, but
Yeah.
So I thought you guys going to the zoo and live streaming that was super engaging and fun. I saw you did the cooking the other day.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
cooking at home. I saw you took everybody to Gamescom this year.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm trying my
I
best.
wouldn't be too hard on yourself because you're making some really good moves, and the Gamescom was really quite good. I was glad that you guys were able to do that. Dude, I had so much fun. I had to end up watching the VOD because unfortunately I can't catch everything.
I didn't save the VOD.
as it is.
It's gone.
See, this is why I want to put my stuff on YouTube. I was
Yeah.
just telling you, this
Yeah.
is why I want to upload those VODs to YouTube so that they're kept. And
Yeah.
I get not a lot of people want to go and watch a 3 or 4 hour VOD, but who knows?
I messed
My
up.
son one day will go back and look at my old videos, and they'll be
Yeah.
a treat for him or some friends or whatever. So I'm definitely going to start putting those things on YouTube and making sure they last.
Twitch VODs stay for like a very long duration, but I always thought to myself like, I'll do it some other day, and eventually it's now at the point where a couple of weeks ago, I was like, let me check if the VOD is still up for the Gamescom. And no, it's not up anymore, man.
Yeah.
I messed up. But yeah, anyway.
Good experience too.
Yeah.
Especially when you guys were at that claw machine. Not to stress out anymore, but the
Yeah.
claw machine drama was.
Oh my God, the kids.
Oh boy,
Yes.
y'all had me so heated over here. I was like, man, I would tell that kid to get the hell out the way.
Yeah. Damn. Good times. But I've learned a lot from these situations because every IRL stream I know there's something that I can improve upon. Yes.
There's all types
That's
of
good.
different types of people, man. It doesn't mean you're right or wrong or for whatever you.
No, I mean like for example, the Halloween stream, for example, like I can't stream in the dark. There's no point. It barely works. Like I need lighting. Yeah.
Dude,
So-
speaking of needing lighting, dude, your camera looks so good. Mine looks so
Really?
whitewashed.
Mine is cheap too now. It's a pretty outdated model. I can give you the thing.
I bought a $100 webcam that's supposed to do 1080p at 60 frames per second. No, it costs most people $100. I didn't pay $100 for it.
Oh yeah.
I bought it from a guy on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I bought it for $50. But yeah, it's a top tier Logitech Stream Cam C920E. So yours looks clearer and warmer to me, and mine looks whiter.
This is keep in mind that this is also basic for me right now, like because I don't use the OBS filters at the moment. That was my first complaint for the stream, but
So I didn't put any OBS filters on my camera either. And I need to know, like, do I need to be putting OBS?
there's also another thing. What's this thing called? Logitech. Also Logitech G Hub, I think, where you can have some settings if you happen to have the same one.
G Hub.
Yeah.
Logitech gaming mouse. And
You can set the priority to frame rate, because I don't know what your settings are and stuff, but there's like some basic settings that you can.
1080p 60 for my webcam.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now that's the whole scene is the 1080p that I'm outputting. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe.
Could also be the lighting maybe, because like you know how it auto focuses and stuff. Like I do have a really big ring light here as well.
Oh, so yeah, that's gonna help you a lot.
Maybe
All of my light sources above me. And you can
Yeah.
see my head here, so I don't
Yeah.
have anything.
So it's not going to be clear then.
Light
Just-
right onto my face, so that's probably what it is. It's hard for me because I don't necessarily want to play like. Oh man, everything I have is on dark mode. I don't necessarily want to play with a light shining in my face. Oh god, look at
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to play with a light. Like I feel like it'd be so flashlighty. I just, I don't
You
know.
get used to it. You get used to it. It's okay. But it also depends on like how much do you care, right? Because it's the same thing for me. Like I think a background, like it's either you choose what you do, like with the green screen, or you go for a background. It's also really important to me that like I went for the background thing because I know that if I have a background, I can have stuff that people can relate to or talk about. Like, you know, most people they'll come in, and if they talk about the background, they're like, oh, that's a fat Pikachu, ha ha ha, and they're like, oh, you can talk about Pokemon now. So like a conversation starter. But on the other hand, the green screen is more clear as well, of course.
I'm not using the green screen.
No, I know, yeah, but
yeah,
but the idea of a green screen, let's say, yeah.
Yeah, the idea of a green screen. But my background isn't as cool as yours. It's just a dartboard and a bed.
Yeah.
So, you can actually see my dartboard right there. But yeah, like, it's like there's nothing really interesting and cool back there. So until I come up with something else, maybe an actual green screen, I toyed around with the idea. But
there's some small details too that there's some small details, because I know you have a I've also looked into the same thing that you're using at the moment. I did. Okay, this will be really short, really short. Need to find my video capture filters. Oh, I can't show because I'm on stream with the Twitch stream. I'm not. Okay, but anyway, there are certain settings with. I'm assuming you're using the same thing with the filter. What's it called? Image mask. No, background removal, whatever. Right? I think it's called. Yeah, use the same thing. So with the settings, you can also set how smooth it is for the capturing, so it doesn't have the snappy thing that you have at the moment, but you can really smooth it out proper.
I've been playing with it, and this is where that's why I know what you're getting at.
Oh, okay.
I even played with it some on stream.
Yeah.
I went for a higher number than a low number, so this is 1. And this is where I don't want it to be at 1 because it was so fast,
Yeah.
so fast that it's flickering and triggering probably me more than anybody else. But this is at the fastest refresh rate for it, and I didn't like that. So I ended up increasing the refresh rate a bit to something that was going to slow it down a little bit more. And then I did it like a little more, and it got a lot quieter, not so noisy, but it wasn't so accurate. So then it ended up being a situation where, yeah, it's not as noisy now, but it is choppy and it's not as accurate. But if I did something in between, which was where the happy medium ended up being was 10, it actually ended up being better for me, I think.
Like you see,
because
yeah, I'm not like, if you have the stream open, then you can see as well.
Oh, hold on.
Like you can like smoothing the edges is you know what I mean? So like it's not so you don't have like a triangle hat, which you sometimes have, you know, like a triangle above you. But there are some things that you can change the settings with. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, something like that.
The filter.
So you're gonna have to check out some stuff then.
I have smooth silhouette all the way at the top. Like I have it at maximum.
Okay.
Smooth silhouette at 1.
It could also be the segmentation model that also sometimes has a small difference.
I'm using Media Pipe. I switched through a couple of them, and this one actually was the better of them. It's sad. Maybe it's
but also don't forget, it has to do with your lighting as well, of course, because like with me having the lighting on me makes it easier for the filter to do what you just saw as well. So I think also the biggest thing would probably be the lighting, actually. Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed with the camera because I wanted it to be infrared. Actually, I think there are a lot of cameras that are on the laptop that are infrared enabled cameras, and you don't really think about it, but the infrared actually is what's picking up the heat signature from your body, so the camera knows exactly where you are. So if my camera actually supported infrared, to have crisp, clear takeaway. But
yeah,
even then, so if I get like a green screen or I don't know, a cool chef with I might be able to.
But for sure, I think I just I have to say it again. But the one thing that'll help for sure is the ring light in front of you, because that helps most cameras focus and whatnot, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's annoying to play with. That I understand the frustration.
So like I don't know, like again, it's like how much of this am I gonna let really invade my gaming experience?
Yeah, that's completely up to you.
I do want it to be comfortable for the viewership, but at the same time, I do want to enjoy
the game too. Yeah.
The system that I built, right? So I built this ultra wide gaming machine that's supposed to give me a fully immersive experience. Now, I have to cheat my experience to satisfy others. It's like, is that the trade? Is that the move? I don't know.
That's hard.
Early days.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out for sure. Finding the balance between you versus what the viewers want. Yes, for sure. I mean, look at certain game categories as well. Like there were certain game categories where I didn't have as many people. It's just not worth streaming at that point. But I was enjoying it. So like, yeah. But you live and you learn. You'll find out. You'll find out. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's wrap it up now. Keep talking. But no, it's really good to have you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you another shout out. Oh yeah. Any last words before we end again? Yes.
Just thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it, and everybody that's shown so much love since I've started streaming. It's really been like I said, humbling, and I'm really grateful. Follow me on all my socials here. I appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that's what.
When, you guys hit my stream.
Yeah, I can't even give you a shout out. It was bad, man. Which making me wait 49 minutes. But anyway, thank you. I'm gonna hop off here and take care, and I'll